Y'all know me, Big the Legend G, with my co-host Initial D, bringing that heat in the Twitch street. Grab your popcorn, kick up your feet, sit back, relax. We about to blow. Welcome to our channel. Enjoy the show. Ayy.
Hard conversation, brain stimulation, BGID, no imitation. Look, pull up on the mic. Two big guys is rocking the night. Sub on YouTube and follow on Twitch. I guarantee it's gonna be a hit. It's showtime.
Yo, yo, yo.
Okay. You know what? I swear, man. I promise every time that song's over with, I'm always like, man, I wish I had a button to push. Like every time. And sure enough, we have a button.
Yes. It was only a matter of me changing my my mic to my voice mod. That's exactly what it was.
Okay. Nice. Yo, welcome back, everybody out there. Happy Sunday. It is the 14th. I don't know why I'm going to say the 15th. It's the 14th of September. Once again, halfway through the month. I mean, wow. This year's over with, man. It's over. Let's just go ahead and say it.
Pretty much.
It's over, man. Before you know it, it'll be Thanksgiving, and then usually we're going to wrap things up when we see that coming. So, but yeah, happy Sunday, everybody out there. Hopefully everybody's having an amazing weekend so far. Two Bearded Guys podcast. We are back once again, as promised. One half of your host, Nichelle D, and I got my man's.
I'm on the other side.
There. I don't know. From what I see, you over there.
That's funny. That is hilarious. But I am the co-host, Bearded Legend. Welcome. Happy Sunday.
Yes. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, we're here, man. Hopefully everybody hopefully everybody's trying to get comfortable. Everyone's great, wonderful. No lie. I literally just got off of the couch. Okay, I was we went to church this morning, and you know how it is when you get out of church, you'd be like, you kind of feel a little slumber, a little tired or whatever. So we were just chilling on the couch, actually watching another sermon from somebody that we follow online, and just in relax mode. And I'm looking at I asked my wife, I said, what time is it? And she's like, it's 1:30. I was like, 1:33. So I was like, all right, let me get up, get myself ready, get myself started. What am I going to wear? What am I going to put on? So, yeah, because I think about that type of stuff, when I get ready to stream. Like, I just ain't about to throw whatever on. So, but,
right, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know, man. I felt great earlier, but all of a sudden, I'm so tired now, man. Like, man, you would feel tired. Now it's time for you to actually do this podcast.
That's how it is. That is exactly how it is. Especially when you get out of church, and you just sitting there chilling. And then, yeah, like I know one time I got done with church, came home just chilling. I was like, all right, I gotta cut the grass. I was like, I don't feel like getting up.
Yeah.
I'm so tired at this point. So tired.
I don't feel like doing this.
Forget this grass. Bear, what's good, bro?
I was reading. What's up, Bear? Good to see you, man. Welcome on in. I was reading this Facebook post maybe about 5 minutes ago. A guy I know, he had posted this video of him trimming his grass. You know how we got houses now, so
yeah, like
the grass starts growing over the sidewalk and stuff. He's like, I guess my OCD is kicking in because I hate this. So he starts to get out there and doing it manually. I'm like, shoot, I gotta do that myself, to be honest with you, man. So it's completely different maintaining a yard, so they got whole services out there that'll do that for you, but I think I do it myself.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. It ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Especially if your yard ain't that big.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Crafty, welcome in, Crafty.
Welcome in. Good to see you, Crafty. Again.
Again. Bear, I'm doing good. I know D's doing good, so I ain't gonna speak for D, but you know, I'm doing good.
All is well. With all. Yeah. How you doing, brother? Crafty, you awake? So, in case y'all didn't know, we are live on both Twitch and YouTube. So, if you're on the purple side, we appreciate your love. We appreciate your support. If you're watching this, be sure to just, hit that follow button if you're not already. And if you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe over there and, give us a like, of course, thumbs up. It helps out the channel a lot, a whole lot, just to, get us a little bit more noticed. The channel on YouTube has made it to, I was looking at it earlier, 116 subscribers. So, hey,
yep,
we don't take it lightly. We don't take it lightly. We appreciate, all that and so much more.
Yes, definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate the love, the support that you guys give. Even on Spotify, we are hitting it on Spotify. We can't remember the last time I looked, but I know we have a lot of impressions. According to the analytics, we've had a few streams, a few downloads, so it's definitely going up from here for sure. And you know what?
Up, man. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm not gonna let you do this to me.
What?
You got your super dad shirt on. No, I can't. No, you can't be the only one.
Yeah, man. Hey, you can thank my lovely wife and kids. They got this for me for Father's Day last year. I think it was last year. Was it last year or the year before? One of the two. So, yeah, my favorite color is red. So I don't wear a lot of blue all the time. So, with this shirt right here, I said I would start wearing a little bit more because, again, it was a gift. And it's nice to know that this is how they feel.
Yes.
Even though dad be tired and all that good stuff, but, I still make it happen.
Oh, so, yeah. Got to.
Beer says, I'm good, fellas. Just working, about to be off and go pick up the little man. Nice. That's right. Hey, I got a few dad gang. I need a hat. That's what I need. Bro, I got the shirt. I ain't got no hats.
Look, Barry, I'm definitely gonna get some more because they got some new colors that just dropped. I don't know if you got the app, but yeah, they got some new color combos that I want.
Nice. Yeah, I need some hats, man. And I'm a hat guy. Y'all already know that, so I just ain't got one on today. But you gotta represent, man. You gotta represent. If you're a father, of course, I feel like I do because I love being a dad. I ain't gonna lie. Let me see. Of course, I have. I got about 10 of them coming. My man got 10 of them coming, man. Of course, Bear got to do it big.
Look, man. I'm telling you, that download the app. It's called Dad Game, and they got a whole selection. And they fairly. I ain't gonna say they cheap, but it's a pretty good price for
them. I'm gonna do that right now. Let's see.
My favorite one is the lavender. I have not seen the lavender one yet. I'm going to look because I want. So they had one that was lime green that I wanted because I was gonna get those and some lime green Nikes to go with it. Oh. But they sold out. So
yeah, I actually had to move my camera because I don't know. I started noticing that every time I stream or make a video, my camera never shows what type of shirt I have. It cuts it off like right here. It's like enough. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just move my camera a little bit so I can at least, show, what it is I'm wearing. Cause people always, what you wearing? Where you get that from? And
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So how's your week been, bro? I mean, like we were talking about a few minutes ago, it feels like September's pretty much over with. It's the 14th, but
yeah.
How would you rate your week on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would rate it. I rated it a 7.5.
Okay.
I mean, it was really good. Some things could have been better, but I pretty much spent all week in the office. Well, the majority of the week in the office. We were doing some testing for that project I've been working on. And for the most part, everything seemed to be working like it should be. There were some things that we needed to kind of discuss and go back to the drawing board and see what we could do. Other than that, it's really been good. Hanging out with the wife, doing football on Saturdays, and church on Sundays. So that's always a good refresher. Sundays are always a good refresher. So yeah, it's been a really good week.
I feel like Sundays, I mean, if it can be helped, should always be like a day to just reset everything, reset and replenish, repair, rest, all of the R's.
Yes.
It's just to prepare for the next week. I've had weeks where I didn't take a break on Saturday like I should have.
Mm-hmm.
And then going into the new week, I feel like I'm at war because I'm just so tired and drained and all that stuff. And then I'm like, well, man, you didn't take a day of rest. You didn't reset. You decided to, be Terminator and plow through like you didn't need to sit down somewhere. So I've gotten really good about that, especially the older I get. Man, listen, if I don't make myself take a break and rest, the next week is really hard on me. Like for me this week, it's been, I mean, a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being terrible and then 10 being awesome. I would have to probably put it in about a 7 as well. Because, like you guys, I always tell you guys all the time, my day starts really early in the morning and it stretches out throughout the day. So the problem with my lifestyle is I'm not on a set schedule. I'm not like most people. They work, I don't know, like 7 to 3 or 8 to 4, something like that. That's just not me. Like I start at 5 and then it's pretty much done at 7:30 p.m. with some other objectives that I have to do throughout the day. So, right. And I think because it's stretched out like that, it just makes me more tired. So I've been kind of wrestling with that this week. Just feeling exhausted. That's for lack of a better words. Who's this? What's good? Good evening, Key Font.
Yo, Nee.
I'll say that.
Yep. Nee, yep.
Okay. What's up? Welcome on in.
Yep. Nee came in when me and Maddie had our episode. He's part of the Pacemakers.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what's up.
Life over across the big pond there. Welcome in. Right. Let's see. Bear said his was a 9. Okay.
Oh, nice.
The back-to-back stream energy was great. Then I saw the Demon Slayer movie, which I am actually going to see this week, and got some more clothes and shoes for me and my son. Nice. Yeah. Getting ready for the 4th birthday. Whew.
Golly.
This man is growing up right before our eyes.
Like, it's crazy how much time has gone by. Like, I still remember he wasn't even born yet. And now he's about to turn 4.
4.
Wow. That means that we're like 4 years older too. Take that.
Reverse time, Bear. Reverse time.
Please.
Take us back.
Please, man. You wouldn't think that 3-4 years will make much of a difference in your life. Yes, it does. It definitely does, man. But yeah, overall, my week was it was a good week, but still, I just need to do a little bit better with navigating, getting just a bit of a better schedule and some structure and stuff like that. I was able to get a couple of streams in myself this week, Thursday night and yesterday, which I'm proud of myself for doing that because my goal was actually to stream at least twice a week, at least 2 times. And I feel like I achieved that. Now, if I can only just, lock it down, for a particular day, I think that, I wouldn't have to think about that anymore, because a lot of times I want to do it, but I don't really know what days I'm going to do it. And that just that doesn't help. It makes things complicated because you're trying to figure out where you're going to place it. But actually, after the stream is over with, I'm going to, sit down and just kind of see what makes sense and then roll with that. And then, I don't have to think about that anymore.
Yeah.
But needless to say, the streams were fun. They were great. Talking to people, communication, vibes, not thinking about work or anything else aside of that also.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, we are here for part 2 of our what I call Fruitful Living series. Last week we talked about self-control and discipline, and this afternoon we're going to be talking this afternoon/evening because we do have viewers from across the big pond there. We're going to be talking about patience, kindness, and goodness. If you guys, if you guys read your Bible, these are part of the fruits of the Spirit that the Bible speaks on in Galatians chapter 5. So we're going to be talking about these 3 attributes today, and hopefully we can finish up the week after because we got a special episode next week, which we will talk about later on before we close. But before y'all do, before we do get into it, again, if you are on Twitch, make sure you follow the channel. If you're new, subscribe to the channel over on YouTube as well. We definitely appreciate you guys' support. And we piggyback off of engagement, guys. So if you got something thought-provoking that you want to talk, that you want to say in the chat, feel free to put it in the chat. We love to engage with you guys, especially with things like this, because I think while all the fruits of the Spirit are very applicable to our lives, I think these 3 are like the most difficult, in my opinion. I think these 3 are the most difficult.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are, but it must be done.
So
it must be done.
It must be done. So like I said, we are talking about patience, kindness, and goodness this episode.
And then once again, before we proceed, if you don't mind, share this link somewhere. Share it on your Facebook if you have Facebook, if you have X, if you have Instagram. Share it in your stories. We would greatly appreciate it because, honestly, if I'm being real, me and Beardy here are pretty much, and maybe a few people that we know, I know that Crafty does. A couple of us share the links when it comes to the podcast, and it only takes like a few seconds, because when you share a link, hundreds, if not thousands of people can see that link. Now, that's not promising that they're going to click on it, but you just never know who may just click on it, because, we try very hard to, produce content that's informative, that's going to be, that's going to make you think, give you some insight. And you just never know who needs to hear what it is we have to say, just because you may not have thousands upon thousands of subscribers doesn't mean that the content is not rich in education and inspiration and stuff. So do us a big favor, share this with somebody that you care about, or just again on your social media, and let's try to pull people in so we can talk. And just like Bearded said, we really, really thrive in a social environment. So at any point you got a question or you want to comment, anything like that, go right ahead and do it. But also don't feel pressured, because I know some of you might be busy. You may be driving, you may be occupied, maybe you just don't feel like talking, and that's fine. I'm the same way sometimes. I don't always feel like talking, but because everyone's welcome is what I'm trying to say. But if you want to chat, we're here, and we would love to go back and forth if need be.
All right. So without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this episode. Our first point that we're going to be talking about is patience. So this is the question that I pose. How many of y'all in the chat have patience?
And you can be honest.
Let me rephrase it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good is your patience?
And you can be completely transparent and completely honest as well. And while y'all are waiting, I can say for me, if I had to rate my patience, it's probably a 5. It's like right down the middle. So I do not have an immense amount of patience. And like I say it's a 5 because I got more patience for certain things than others. Like there's certain things in my life that I can deal with and I can be patient with, and then there's other things that I have zero patience for. Like example, with my work, of course, there are people that I have to exercise a certain level of patience with, because people come to me in a vulnerable state, wanting to become healthy and get in shape and stuff. So I have to be able to demonstrate an understanding of patience with these people, so they don't think or feel as if I'm exercising some sort of frustration, just because they may not understand where I'm coming from immediately, because you can want something so bad for somebody and they just don't seem to get it right away. Some people get frustrated with that, and I can't afford to do that. And the other end of the spectrum is, let's just say I'm driving in traffic and then people are driving stupid. Like I got no patience on the road at all. None. Crafty will tell you I'm like hitting the wheel. Well, I'm not hitting the wheel, but I'm yelling. I'm definitely yelling. What are you doing? Just yelling. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's a reaction or I don't know. Yeah, so it's about a 5 for me.
That's funny. And that was actually one of the things that came into my head. For most people, when it comes to patience, is the whole driving thing. For me, and I'm sure you'll probably agree with this, my patience is about an 8. For sure.
So I remember last year, I never forget this. this is last year when we were at DreamCon and what was it, Austin last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember me, you, and Flash, where I don't know where we were coming from, but you were driving and we were going back to the Airbnb, back into that neighborhood. And
Oh
somebody
yeah,
pulled
yeah,
out, somebody
yeah.
pulled out in front of you, man. And me and Flash was like, what? And you ain't say nothing. He was just sitting there like, I'm like, did you not? Reaction, nothing. Nothing. I'm like, wow. Now that is because I don't think most people would react that way. I really don't believe most people would react that way. I think most people would at least give a hand gesture or say something. But yeah, I was pretty amazing. Amazed at this man. Amazed at that level of patience.
Man, look, for me, I think what it is for me, I just have a high tolerance of stuff. Like some stuff that you might get upset about, I'm just like, hey, whatever. It's like,
yeah,
it is what it is. Ain't nothing I can change. Now, if they would have hit us, that might have been a different story.
Yeah,
I would put it that way. But like, yeah, I truly believe I have a high tolerance for a lot of stuff. Like it really takes a lot for me to get mad. So
yeah,
you just got to push that button.
I do remember you getting, a little out of character not long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Rightfully so. I would have got, felt the same type of way. The line in the sand is family. I would like to say for most people, I would believe, if you want to see a side of somebody you ain't never seen, you mess with their family, you may just see it.
You might just see it.
I mean, patience. I don't believe that it needs to be exercised in that regard, because you're trying to protect your family and stuff like that. So let me just be patient and hopeful this person may just leave my family alone. I'm just gonna sit over here. Stop. Nah, man, you gotta use wisdom too. Come on.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in this chat would not be patient if somebody was coming for their family.
Of course not. No, I don't know, because I don't think that patience. People, you can't apply that to every single thing in life. There's things in our life that do require patience. It does. Versus there are other things you may have to, dive into other attributes of self-defense. This is what it is, but
right.
The street that the main road that we live off of is a one-way street. So there's one lane going one way and then the other one's going the other way. So and I was talking to Crafty about this. I talk to her about this all the time because this is a problem that it's not a problem per se, but it's a concern. Like people have no patience at all when it comes to being on that road. Like if they see the opportunity to go around you, they would do it. Like they'll take, I know you've seen people do it. They will take that chance as if you're driving too slow. Yeah. And then you just, go around you like you couldn't do the speed limit too. And as if you couldn't wait, so I often, I actually prayed about that. Honestly, I was like, there is a person right there who has no patience at all. Like, what makes you want to break the law, put people's life in danger, and get to where just to get somewhere you're trying to get to? And it's crazy, patience, a lack thereof, can put you in danger.
Yes.
It can put you in danger. It can put other people in danger as well. Like a lot of people think that patience is just, talking about just waiting and, just waiting your turn or, or whatnot, but it also can entail in other avenues as well. You know, you don't have, if you're not acting in patience, think about it. Anything that you're not acting in, you're in an anti mindset of that attribute. So if you're
Right.
not patient, you're acting in haste. You know, you're acting in
Yeah.
haste, you're moving fast. And usually the patient person can think logically, clearly, decisions are made a lot more responsibly versus the person that is, you know, hasty. They don't think clear. They're
Acting on
always
emotions. Yeah.
acting on emotions, moving fast, making mistakes, and could potentially cause harm, you know, in the midst of their actions.
Yep.
So I remember I was at Walmart a couple months back, and I went in there to buy a TV. And I remember hearing the voice of God when I was walking in there, because I was walking behind these people. And in my eyes, I felt like they were walking too slow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard him say, "Slow down." It's like, it's not that they're walking too slow. You're just moving
Walking
too
too
fast.
fast. Yeah.
Chill out.
Yeah.
You know, why are you moving so fast? And that's always been something that I've wrestled with as a kid. Even my grandparents would tell me, like, you move too fast. You don't take your time. In other words, you know, and that's a gift that you got. Like, you take your time. I remember when we went to DreamCon this year. It's always a DreamCon story, man. You and Mrs. Beard were cooking. Y'all was cooking breakfast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bear and Mark was still asleep, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Mrs. Beard said, "Aren't you gonna go wake them up? You know, because breakfast is almost done."
Yeah.
You didn't say anything. You were doing something. I think you were like washing a dish, or you were occupied. Let me just put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you finished doing what you were doing, and then you went upstairs. Like, you didn't drop what you were doing just to go, "Hey guys, get up. You know, it's breakfast time." You just, "Let me finish this task. All right. Now we can go. All is well." Now that was the code. It just gave off Zen, like Zen vibes. Like, I'm like, I don't know, man. Just stuff like that jumps out at me, man. I'm a very observant person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can just see that, the attributes of it. So you definitely right, man. When you say you got an immense amount of patience, um, I would say Bear does as well. You know,
Yeah.
we've talked about that with him, his level of patience. He's had it said to him several times that he has too much patience. You know, I don't know if that's a such thing or not, to have too much patience. I think
Yeah,
that you
that
can.
does pose a question.
I mean, is it true, y'all? What do y'all do? You think y'all can have too much patience? You know, or when does your patience? When does that turn into? What's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking for. It turns into you just becoming used by people.
Oh, like a
You know, like,
basically like a door walk,
you're a doormat
push
almost.
over. Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
pushover. You're being so patient with people. You're letting them get their way, just kind of waiting for them to like come about. And sometimes they never do.
Yeah. I mean, and that's how some people see, like the people that feel like they're in a rush to do things and complete things. When they see somebody that is like, okay, it'll happen. You know, it's always one of those things where they're like, you just let people walk all over you, and it's like, no, that's not the case. It's just like, I don't mind waiting. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, life is never about a rush, because I think, well, life is never supposed to be rushed. It's not a race. Life is a
Yeah.
marathon.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people tend to forget that. And that's why, you know, there are different versions of the Bible that says long suffering instead of patience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what patience is. It's long suffering. Like, you know, you God pretty much says wait. You know, it's one of those things. Like, and when I see people that are like so quick to rush into trying to complete something or do something or get somewhere, and or you're trying to you know, you're trying to change your life and like, you know, career wise, or you know, moving different places and things like that, and nothing is going your way. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I told you to wait. I mean, well, not I, but God just sat there and said, I told you to wait, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, we talk about this all the time when it comes to timing. You know, it is never our time.
Nope.
And people just don't want to people just don't want to admit that.
Well, I mean, I think that people don't want to admit that they actually want to be their own God. You know, they won't say that, but your actions always speak louder than your words. You know, God tells you to be patient and to wait, but yet you're trying to make something work your way, or trying to twist what God says, like, wait. I'll say, okay, I'll wait. But in the meantime, you know, I'm going to do this and that and that and this. And then before you know it, you're tired all the time. You're worn out all the time. Like, well, God told you to wait, told you to be patient the first time. And I was thinking about this as you were speaking. You know, why is patience one of the fruits of the Spirit? You know, I feel like it, you know, God is a God of order. You know, he's a God of precise provision. He doesn't rush anything. There's peace there. There's no peace in being hostile in a hostile environment. There's no peace in being hasty. You know, and again, the anti meaning of patience is hastiness. You know, the devil wants to rush you. The devil wants you to move faster and faster and faster to the point you can't be rational. You can't be logical, and you're more prone to miss out on what God has for you, all because you didn't want to wait. And, you know, I think a lot of it is our culture too. You know, we live in a world where everybody wants everything now, like right now, like 1 day shipping. How fast can I get this? How, you know, you go to get your oil change. How long is it going to take? Oh, it's going to take an hour. Oh, that's too long. Like, okay, well, what do you have to do that's so important that you can't wait an hour to get something done to your vehicle? Like, everybody wants things to be done fast, like patience, waiting. Just like we talked about last week, we live in a culture where self-control and discipline is not practiced. Neither is being patient.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll find that as we go down the fruit of the Spirit, that a lot of this stuff is not practiced in society, which is why we see a lot of the results
that we get,
that we see and we get and that we witness out of people, man. So I find that when I got some patient people and people who are patient with me with certain things in my life, and I'm thankful for those people. You know, because, you know, I don't move really fast with certain things. You know, that's something I've been trying to work on personally. Is like, stop waiting to the last minute to do this and that, and, you know, just doing things in an orderly, timely fashion, and not like at the last minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, patience is definitely something that is of God. That's why it's a fruit of the Spirit. And yeah,
So, all right, here's the question that I'm gonna pose.
Yep.
How does one practice patience?
I don't think you can practice patience without having some sort of situation to force you to practice patience. You just pray to the Lord and say, God, make me a more patient person. Somebody new gets hired at your job. This person's not friendly at all. In fact, they don't like you. Just I don't know why. And I think that in the midst of, dealing with that type of person, you have to be able to get to a point where you can not be so hasty to just throw this person under the bridge. Like, I see you're a freaking demon. Now I'm not talking to you, and I'm gonna go over here and do my thing. Like, oh, well, wait a minute now. You praying for patience, of course, then you're gonna come across a situation in your life that's gonna require you to practice it. Because you don't just get something, you have to practice, the requirements in order to obtain that thing. And again, how does one gain patience? You're going to be up against some situations that force you to do it. Like for me, I'm a parent. My kids, I talked about this on stream last night. Being an active father, I was there through all pregnancies. I was there when they were born. I was there in the infant phases with the crying and the long nights. And it's just, it just took a lot of patience to handle that. But again, patience wasn't given to me. It was a situation that manifested itself into patience.
Yeah.
All because of what was before me. You know what I mean? Or if you're somebody that's taking care of usually taking care of somebody can produce it. Like an elderly parent or a grandparent or something like that. You can't just be mad and angry at them because of what's going on with them. You have to have patience to be able to handle the task. And even though this is, two different scenarios, you still can apply that to everything else, that you got going on in life.
Yeah. Because I mean, patience is used 24/7. Whether we want to believe it or not, it's used 24/7. It could be at work, it could be driving, it could be you out and about shopping, it could be people at your church, family. So, we just want to encourage everyone, like, if you're struggling with patience, definitely give it to God. He's definitely gonna show you the way for sure. But do we have any other remarks about patience before we move on to our next bullet point here, our next attribute?
Have patience with yourself too,
Yes.
Have patience with yourself, because all of us, I would like to think a lot of us, are just trying to improve in life, just become a better person. A lot of times we'll drop the ball sometimes. Don't be so hard on yourself if you just so happen to drop the ball. Like, oh, I slipped up, I messed up. So I know somebody who I talked to recently, a streamer who's pretty vulnerable with me recently. Yeah. And he told me, he said that he was trying to stop cussing and he didn't want to cuss. And he said, I've been doing very good, but I slipped up on stream and stuff like that. I'm like, well, the fact that you even acknowledged that you slipped up means that you are improving. That's not anything to be upset about. You know, if you going from cussing 2-3 hours or however long you stream to like slipping up once throughout that time period, that's progress.
Yes.
You know, and for something that you've been doing most of your life, it's not gonna just stop. It's not like a reservoir. You can't just turn it on and off, man. It's not how it works. You know, you gotta be patient, brother.
Can't go cold turkey just like that.
Not with something like that. So, but that's all I got as far as like on patience.
Yeah. Okay. Great discussion about patience. So we're gonna move on to our next topic, where our next fruit of the spirit, which is kindness. So, what does kindness mean to you? And anyone in the chat, you guys can answer that as well. Makes you think, don't it?
yeah, because it's kind of hard to like mention kindness without mentioning patience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, there's a antagonist to every fruit of the spirit. You know, obviously, when it comes to kindness, it would be, you know, being rude. You know, rude. Everyone knows what that means, to be rude and to be mean and just nasty to people. So I guess we can start there. You know, just being kind to people, you know, just thinking of others more so than yourself.
Yeah.
I feel is what kindness is. You know, just how would the next person feel or act? Like for me, like let's just say I'm going to the gas station, and you know how some pumps are set up. You know, you got one pump and then there's another pump in front of you and stuff like that. I will keep driving until I get to the pump that's in the front and leave the one behind me open.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just in case somebody said, so I ain't got to make it hard for somebody else to like come and pump their gas.
Pretty much maneuver around you just to get
to get over there. Like that's something like you're thinking of people before somebody even comes about.
Yeah.
You know, just kindness. It's yeah, man, it's again, it's just a gesture of showing people love. You know, how are you doing today? Holding the door open for people, and when you doing things that you don't have to do, but doing it anyway, just to show that kindness, that kind spirit, because you know the fruit of the spirit are the attributes and the attitude of God.
Yes.
You know, that's what kindness is. Or have you ever heard somebody say, "Oh, you're so kind"? You know, maybe because you, I don't know, open the door for them or paid it forward.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Again, doing something to affect a person in a positive way. You know, kindness plants seeds. Somebody could be having a bad day and your kindness planted a seed within them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, well, this person was kind to me today. Maybe I should be more of a kinder person instead of selfish.
Right.
Or self-centered, thinking of me or me and the nasty, because there's some people out here that's not kind at all.
Yeah,
at all.
definitely.
At all. Definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and you elaborate, you alluded to it. You just didn't say the word. When I think of kindness, I think of compassion toward others. You know, and then you also said something about, you know, putting others before yourself. You know, there was a growing up in church, there was an acronym that we always used called JOY. Basically the word joy, but it was Jesus, others, yourself. Is how the acronym went. And you know, for me, you know, kindness, being kind to someone definitely goes a long way.
Yes.
You know, it it can help. It could potentially build a relationship with somebody as well, because they see how you interact with other people, and they're like, oh, I want to know, like, what makes Beardy tick. Like, why is he always so kind to people? Now I do sometimes think that there's we'll get to that in a minute. Never mind. We'll, because there's always a dark side to some of these things as well. But I think kindness is also like gentleness in action. It, like, small acts of kindness, it can bring healing, it can restore relationships, and the big thing is that it reflects God's love in ways that we don't even think about. Like it, we say this in the streaming world that it costs nothing to support others.
Yep.
Kindness goes the same way. It costs nothing to be kind.
But why is it so hard for some people to be kind? Like, what do you think? Like, why are there some people in the world that just seem like they cannot be kind to other people? I don't know if you by choice or just hardwired, just mean.
Oh, that's pretty easy. Experience. It's something that they experienced. Somebody wasn't kind to them, so it's like, why should I be kind to anybody else?
That's like putting everybody in a box, though. Painting everybody the same color, painting everybody the same picture. I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Everyone goes through stuff, but it's just, that doesn't mean that it's right.
You should not be kind, right?
Yeah, like it doesn't make you any better than the person that mistreated you. I've heard people say, they've been cheated on all their whole life, so then they don't want to be faithful to nobody because they're afraid that they're gonna get cheated on. I'm like, well, that makes you just as bad as the people that did you wrong, like in your past. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's always an eye for an eye. Type situation.
Yeah, and like you said, kindness definitely can go a long way. It can bring healing and restoration and reconciliation and all of the above, and can actually have the ability to change somebody's heart. Jesus said, "Love your enemies." You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a tough one.
Look, we always love to like quote Jesus and stuff and all of the things we like that he said, but then he also said a lot of stuff that people just can't get down with. Naturally, like things that you need the Holy Spirit to help you with. Like, love your enemies. Feed your enemies. Give your enemies water. Turn your cheek so that other one can be available. Like, ooh, man, like all of that right there is to convince your enemies, like, no matter what I do to this person, I cannot get them to hate me. I cannot get them to dislike me. I cannot get them to attack me. So it makes no sense to keep doing this. There's nothing to fuel the anger anymore. They would say that saying back in the day, kill them with kindness.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Kindness can be a weapon. It can be an extinguisher of anger. The Bible says that a soft answer turns away wrath. It puts it out, because even the person that's hostile or angry, they don't even make sense themselves anymore. And it makes them stop and think and rethink. But as long as you're throwing gas on the fire and the hostility is still high, nothing gets solved. So like I said, the term "killing with kindness" is true. It's hard for a lot of people. It really is to be kind to somebody that's, because the natural response of a person is like, if you're mean to me, I'm gonna be mean to you. You met nasty to me, I'm gonna be nasty to you, and not be mean to me and let me buy you some coffee. Respond. They don't know how to act. Like, what?
Yeah. Yep.
Coffee.
Yep. Because, and like you said earlier, you can't be kind without being patient. And I mean, all in all, being kind to someone while being patient with someone who is not being kind to you is basically another way of saying you giving them grace.
Yeah.
So, let's all practice kindness, guys. I know that's easier said than done because, like you said, most of us, if someone does us wrong, we want to get back at them. Someone's rude to us, we want to get rude back. So,
and it doesn't solve anything. Like all that really does is feed your flesh, and that's it. And in order to practice kindness to that degree, you got to have a level of patience to be able to do that. You can't, if you have little to no patience, how can you actually be a kind person? Like you can't be a kind person if you have no level of patience whatsoever. Because remember, again, the opposite of being patient is being hasty, not rational, not logical, moving quick, fast, hurry. Like, there's no kindness there, because you got to be slow to think of other people. You have to move slowly.
Right. Yeah. Any closing remarks about kindness? Anything that any, I guess, thought-provoking questions we can ask the chat?
Were you kind to somebody last week? And if you weren't, try to be kind to somebody. Like, here's a challenge: be kind to at least one person every day, even if that means that could be like saying good morning to somebody. There's some people who go their whole day not saying hello or good morning or anything. You ain't got to have a full-fledged conversation with them. Just saying good morning, like, wow, like someone acknowledged me and said good morning to me. Some people make a big deal about that. They do, and that is kindness. But that's all I got on that, on kindness, at least.
Yeah, of course. All right, and we are at our last and final fruit of the spirit, which is goodness. Now, in all transparency, we were only going to talk about patience and kindness, but I was talking to D here, and I was like, you know what? Goodness definitely can go with the other two for sure. I think all three of them connect to each other. Not saying that the other fruits don't connect with each other, but these three right here are really connected. Especially kindness and goodness. So, which poses the question, what do you think goodness is?
Once again, these are all like so linked together perfectly. Like the perfect formula as far as like how you can be a person that is just selfless, at the end of the day, to what is goodness. The question that's being proposed is the action of, again, thinking of how you can serve somebody else to potentially change their heart being good, a good person. They say a good person. What's a good person? A good person is somebody who thinks of other people in one way, shape, or form. Whether you're speaking positive words or you're somebody that takes care of your family or somebody that goes out of their way to help somebody in need. Like I got a friend who I would consider to be a good person. If I say, hey man, I need some help, with moving some stuff, or because he has a truck, he's got a trailer and all that different type of stuff. So if I ever need help, he'll be there. Like a couple weeks ago, I needed some equipment moved to my house, some workout equipment, and this was a Sunday, and we talked about this a few days prior because we were trying to figure out when would be a good day for him to come. And he said, yeah, I got X, Y, and Z going on these days. The only things I really got available was Sunday after church. I said, cool, let's do it. Sunday after church. That's already like a sacrifice for anybody.
Yeah.
Because most people ain't trying to do nothing after church. And most people don't want to do anything on Sunday anyway.
Right.
So after church, he let me see. I think they went out to eat, him and his family. He was kind of going back and forth with me a little bit as they were eating. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a little late because we're taking a little longer with, at the restaurant. And then right after that, he pulled up. I met him where I needed to meet him at. Still had his church clothes on and everything. And helped me. Him and his son helped us move the stuff over to the house. And that's just him by nature. Like he just has a heart for service. Just whatever he can do for somebody, he'll do it. Because that's what I would like define as somebody who's good, somebody that doesn't think of themselves all the time, but constantly thinks of other people and how can they serve them to make them better. That person that they're helping better.
Yeah, for sure. I think when I think of goodness, I think of integrity. Like doing the right thing when no one is looking.
Heard that before. Heard that actually a few days ago from him.
Yeah.
From him. We were just talking about that, yeah.
And I mean you had mentioned, helping others whenever you can, it makes me think about what happened yesterday at the football game. So, big shout out to Mrs. Bearder for this one. So yesterday was it was pretty hot when the wind wasn't blowing, and they were expecting the heat index to be up to close to 100. So the news was telling everybody, hey, if you're going to the football game, make sure you hydrate, yada yada yada. Make sure you eat, drink water, Gatorade, Powerade, whatever case may be. Well, we were at the game, and I guess Mrs. Bearder she was talking to someone behind us, and she noticed that this girl way up in the bleachers passed out.
Oh, man.
And she saw the paramedics up there trying to get her. And she was like, she turned to me and the people that we were sitting with. It's like, hey, do y'all want to go help those paramedics up there with that girl? She passed out, blase blase. And I turned around, looked up there, and I mean, the girl, she was a big girl. She was a heavyset girl. But she was going in and out, and it took me and some other guys and the paramedics to kind of help her, because she was really in bad shape. And so, just the fact that Mrs. Beardy was willing to find help for the paramedics to help the young lady, get out of the heat and into a cooling spot. That was really amazing. And it makes me think of my dad as well, because He's the type, if someone says, well, even if they don't ask him if they can help, if he can help them, if they say, hey, I'm in small talk, I'm going to be working on this, I need to get this moved or something like that, he'd be like, hey, well, if you need some help, just call me, type thing, or I'm definitely willing to do something, and that's kind of where I get it from, because if someone asks me for any kind of help, I'm willing to do it, even if I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna
try.
I'm definitely gonna figure it out,
Yeah.
So that's what I think about when it comes to goodness, just the integrity and the morals behind it.
The willfulness, the willfulness to be on ready mode.
Yeah, to be available whenever.
To be available, because some people are unavailable all the time, never willing to do anything, always selfless.
Yeah.
Just not thinking of other people and stuff like that. Reminds me of when we were in Mississippi, and that lady, we remember we pulled over and trying to help that woman with that stuff that was on her truck. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people would just pass by. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. If it was me, I don't know if I would have stopped or not. Okay, I'm just being honest. Because like I said, everybody just has a different level of willfulness. Now, depending on what it is, maybe if it was kids, like a woman and her children, I saw children or something, then yeah, I would have stopped. Because I don't know, maybe the kids would have triggered me to stop because I got a soft spot for kids. Or if we're in the middle of nowhere, perhaps, and somebody's stuck, then yeah, I would probably do it then too. Because I've been in that situation before, to where I ran out of gas, and I ran out of gas like on a busy street about 10 years ago, I think. And this guy came out of nowhere and helped push my car, helped me get the car out of the street. And I ain't had no gas can. He had a gas can. And I paid for the gas, and we put gas in the car. So he helped me. You know what I'm saying? He helped me. No, I think he put gas in it. No, he put gas in there in the canister. He put enough gas in there to get me to the gas station. So he did that, and then I got to the gas station and put gas in the car. So just stuff like that. Like, he could have kept going. And I've been in numerous situations like that, to where people constantly would keep passing by, nobody stopped, and then that one person, just stopped. So, or it's kind of like, you ever tried to like get in the lane and nobody wants to let you in, and then that one person stops just to let you in? Like, there it is there. Like, that's a demonstration of just being a good person, not so impatient to keep going, but having enough patience to let me stop and let this person in, having enough kindness, the gesture of, just helping somebody that looks like they're in distress, they look like they need help. Let me do something for them. So to be patient, to be kind, and to exercise goodness, you have to demonstrate a certain level of selflessness. Again, you're not thinking of you. Like you said, the acronym, joy, others, you. That's I'm gonna use that right there. I like that. Jesus, others, and you. Is what you said, and it's true. Putting God first and putting others first, and then yourself. That's all throughout the scriptures. If you do it in that order, God will definitely honor that and bless it, because the world does it backwards. You put yourself first, you know, and then if you want to think of others, you can think of others, and then,
Yoj.
you know, yeah, Yoj. That just sounds dumb. Yeah, Yoj. Well, it sounds like YOLO, but
Yeah.
yo, but it sounds like but Yoj. You living
That's
that yo,
funny.
yeah, you living that Yoj lifestyle.
That's funny. That is funny. All right, we got a comment here from Nee. Says being kind, helpful, and good to others costs nothing. People wasting money on materialistic things like that may not benefit them in just an impulsive buy. What's a compliment to a stranger or anyone in your life to lift them up? A small compliment like nice haircut or nice sneakers. Them small things could be a big thing to a person. Man, man, hold on. I gotta hit you with it because oh my gosh, that is so true. The small things matter.
Yes, I remember a couple of years ago there was this girl who was working out. That I've been see she go to the gym pretty consistently, and I had noticed that she had dropped some weight, you know. And then one day I just went up to her and told her, I said, "Hey, you know, I just want to tell you that you're looking good, and keep up the good work. You know, it's showing." And her face just lit up. You know, it just lit up. Like I could tell it was probably the highlight of her whole day.
Yeah.
You know, and she probably took that and probably never forgot it. And somebody acknowledged. And then she said, you know what, that means a lot coming. People always say that means a lot coming from you. Coming from you, it means a lot. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I just thought that, you know, Bear references this all the time about, you know, giving flowers to people, you know, while they can still smell the flowers. So, and that was what I did. You know, I tried to do that as much as I can. I'm gonna be intentional about doing that more. My friend I had mentioned, I was just looking at him last week. He just looked a little bit more slim in the face. I said, bro, you look like you getting leaner, man, you know? And he's like, oh, no, it's nothing. It took his wife to say something. She was like, yeah, he's been putting work in. I'm like, yeah, see there, man, just take it, man. Just take the compliment. Take the compliment, you know.
A lot of people don't know how to take compliments.
some people don't know how to take compliments, man. Like, I don't know. Some people just don't get enough compliments. So, but I feel like maybe if you start giving compliments, you'll start getting them.
Yeah.
Sowing seeds, bro.
Yep. Sowing seeds. Man, that's pure facts. Yes, it is. Carlos, welcome in. How we doing, brother?
What's up, man? Welcome. Good to see you.
Yes.
But yeah, those are really great points. You know, talking about patience, kindness, and goodness. You don't realize how thought-provoking it is until you're proposed with the question. Because we tend to like batch everything up into like one word. Like, oh, to be good is to be kind. To be kind is to be good. And, you know, like, I don't know about that because the Bible's clear. These are separate fruits. You know, these are separate fruits. And for those of you out there who read your Bibles, I mean, do a Bible study on it, and therefore you'll see that there's clear differences between it. Something I've been doing recently, I've been using ChatGPT a lot with biblical principles, and you know, just having overviews and breakdowns of stuff. And I'm actually impressed how, because at first I really wasn't on the ChatGPT train, to be honest. But I feel like depending on what you're talking about, it can actually give you factual stuff that does line up with the Bible. So I think it's a great tool to use. And as of right now, you know, if you're somebody out there that wants to conduct a Bible study and stuff, I brought this up. I mean, this is off topic, but you know, I brought this up in our group chat today. You know, about, you know, Sunday. You know, if you can go to church, go to church. I was just asking, I already know about you, but Bear, he responded and saying he does go to church, and when he gets a chance, or he'll watch it and stuff like that. And Flash, I did know at one point he was going, but the only reason I'm bringing this up now is, in the beginning of the podcast, we talked about our weeks, but I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge that, last week was a very tough week for a lot of us in America. Yes. A very, very tough week, obviously, with the loss of Charlie Kirk. Mm-hmm. I had asked you earlier, a few days ago, do you think that we should touch it? And I don't, and the more time that went by, and the more I just thought about it, and the more I was looking into it, I think it would be a crime to not mention it, because he was a Christian. Regardless of how you felt about the man, he was a Christian and who stood on business. You know what I'm saying?
And he did. Yeah.
That man stood on business, man. He hurt your feelings with the truth. And let us always remember, man, I'm not making any comparison to him and Christ whatsoever, but let us always remember that the truth, everybody wants the truth until it provokes until it provokes you or your lifestyle. Then you don't want to accept it. You know what I'm saying? And with Jesus, we all know Jesus didn't lie about anything. He just told the truth, clear cut, unfiltered, and he was crucified for it. You know what I'm saying? And I heard a couple of sermons, this week, and then going to church this morning, that we're living in a time period to where Christians you need to be bold and exercise the fruit of the Spirit and telling the truth more than ever. Mm-hmm. Because we can't sit up here and be oblivious to the fact of evil running rampant. And evil has no filter. Evil doesn't care. Evil is always going to be here. But the Lord put us here to fight that battle back, to push it back, not to sit here and be quiet.
Yes.
And not to be thinking of ourselves, but to think of other people, which is, again, being more patient with people, being kind to people, showing goodness to people, so that seeds can be planted in those people to produce more Christ-like people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because those are fruits of the Spirit, but they also start as seeds. All fruit comes from seeds, stems from a root. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you got to plant that in people. You got to plant it. You can't go off of how people treat you. That's not what this is about. You have to plant the seeds. You start planting the seeds. You start seeing the fruit. The fruit will start coming back to you through other people. You know what I'm saying? So, Carlos says, the masses don't want to accept what is different. Most of the time, those who speak a message of, we might disagree, but let's try to live in peace, and turn away in silence. Yeah. There used to be a term called, and we probably should save this for another episode, but I'm going to just say this, end it, but because we'll be here for hours. Agreeing to disagree.
Yep.
Hey, we don't see eye to eye. You have your stance. I got mine. You're convinced. So am I. Let's just leave it here and just move on. But I feel like now, in the wake of that event, that doesn't exist anymore, because now people got to be concerned about, am I going to get unalived because of my difference in opinion? Because that's the only reason that he got taken out. Yeah. It's because he had an opinion that didn't go along with other people's opinions. He didn't physically do anything wrong to anybody. Mm-hmm. And that's what's terrifying. Yeah. So, but again, not trying to change our trajectory, but I just could not say anything about it,
Right. Because yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, to be, because some people, they quiet and timid all the time, and it's almost like when you don't say anything, it's almost like you don't care, or because I heard a guy, who I respect, and I was a little disappointed at something he posted a couple of days ago. He's like, all of you people, he posted this on Facebook. He said, all you people are arguing with each other and getting angry at each other, deleting each other over something, over somebody you don't even know. And this ain't got nothing to do with me, X, Y, and Z. I'm thinking to myself, man, well, that's such a selfish statement. Like, this does, like, you don't have to know somebody personally for this to not have anything to do with you. This has absolutely everything to do with you, because what you just witnessed is a violation of your freedom of speech right. So if you ever decide that you want to say something one day that goes on, that does not go with the narrative of something that's being said on a wide spectrum, you could see the guillotine, man. You very well could. This got everything to do with you because you live in this country. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't agree with that, brother.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you got to argue with people. You don't have to argue with people. No. But again, to just, I'm just going to look this way and like I don't see the world's on fire behind me. But as they say, it don't matter until it makes its way to your doorstep. Now you want to be an advocate for X, Y, and Z when you should have been getting down with OPP.
Yeah, you know me.
You know what I'm saying? You should have been there.
And I mean, just like Carlos said, people take things too personal when it's not even about them.
Man, there's other episodes we're gonna have coming that it's there. We won't discuss this after the camera goes off, but I feel a shift in our content. I do, and it's a great thing. It's a really good thing, especially for the time period that we live in right now. So
yes.
Well, folks, those are all of our points right there, and we appreciate the dialogue and the back and forth, and like always. But I was gonna say, do we want to announce next week or give our current events or shameless plugs first? Which one do you want to do?
I mean, we could do the shameless plug first.
Okay, so like I said in the beginning of this stream here, the podcast, I'm going to be streaming at least 2 times a week, because a lot of times, this portion of the podcast will come and I didn't really have anything to add, but I'm going to be streaming at least 2 times a week. I want to make it like one stream in the beginning of the week and then one at the end of the week. So, maybe like a Monday and a Friday or something like that, or a Tuesday and a Thursday. It's going to be something like that. So, just kind of be on the lookout for that. I'll be putting that in the Discord as far as what day that we'll be doing it. Also, the Lay Experience podcast is going to be coming back. I've already had a discussion with the first guest on the new season. So we were talking yesterday. We just need to figure out, I need to figure out his schedule, and he's somebody I think you would like. I think all of you would. He reminds me a lot of how should I put it? I don't know how old he is, but he reminds me of myself a number of years ago, as far as like where he is mentally. And he loves retro games and stuff like that too. So of course, we get on board about that. But he is a man of faith. I feel like he's just trying to develop. He's in a developmental phase with his faith, which is a great thing. So it's really good. So, but yeah, be on the lookout for the Lay Experience podcast to be announced as far as when. I guess it may be safe to say sometime in the beginning of October we'll probably do it, since this month's almost over with. Obviously you want to give some time to promote and all that good stuff. So, but that's all. That's pretty much all I got on my end. So, how about you?
I mean, pretty much same old, same old. Now, normally Mondays we look at the anime shoes, but I think we're gonna take a break from that. Just kind of get back into a little bit of gaming. Because we've been doing it for what, probably 6 weeks straight, Carlos. I want to say at least 6 or 7 weeks straight. And I want to kind of give it a little break and then bring it back, because we have literally we're pretty much almost done with that website, looking through all those shoes. So
it's good content, man. It's different. I don't think anything's wrong with that. It's just, whether you take a break from it or not, or maybe add it to what it is you do.
Yeah. So and hopefully, hopefully I can find some more. I guess I know there's some more anime sites out there that do like clothing and stuff. So I definitely I'm gonna look into some more of that, and kind of maybe we could piece an outfit together type content. That would be pretty dope. I think that'd be cool. So we're gonna take a break from the I Got the Drip segment and get back into a little bit of gaming. Honestly, yep. Go ahead.
Well, my bad. Well, speaking of, you had a trigger word, gaming. So October's coming, so spooky season. Now, I had asked you guys this, I think a week ago or something like that, maybe, in a group chat. I want us to we need to run that back when it comes to getting together and playing, because what the heck was the name of that game? Quit Deadly Quiet.
Yeah.
We need to play something else, man. And just do some collaborating between the four of us or the two of us. It doesn't matter. Just something. Going into October, because I want to close this year out big, in a lot of different ways, and participate in Spooktober. So let's find some a list of games or something in which we can all play, something that's co-op. Have some fun, of course, community stuff. But we can talk about that.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Now on Tuesday, obviously Tuesday is Campfire Tales, so we have been going through Still Wakes the Deep. I feel like I'm close to the end. I'm not sure, but I feel like I'm close to the end. We just got to a part that got really, really emotional for me, at least, for sure. But hopefully we can finish that up this week, and if not, then hopefully it'll be by the end of the month when we do. But other than that, that's all I really got going on this week. Heck, I may stream tonight. I don't know. It's been a minute since I streamed on Sunday nights, and if we're not doing anything, I just may do it. Because I find myself, the days that I don't stream, I'm playing golf on the VR. So, that's normally how I do that.
I feel like you should do what I feel like you should do what you can before y'all are a triple team. You know what I'm saying? You can do all right.
Yeah, you definitely right about that, for sure.
Because we were thinking about this. Me and Crafty were thinking about it a couple of days ago. We were like, because we thought about ourselves, when we first multiplied, everything just changed, man. Like it changed, and it didn't stop. Still don't stop. It just didn't stop. Now it's just a lot more manageable. When they're to an age where they don't need you to do every little thing for them, life starts getting a little bit more easier. So
yeah,
but
for sure.
Yeah, man, just do what you can before that.
For sure, for sure. All right, everyone. Time for the big announcement. Um, we haven't really, I mean, we've been hinting toward it for the past couple of episodes, but we hadn't like really made it official.
Yeah.
But next week we have special guests coming to the channel. We have Just Crafty and D Sassy Gamer will be joining us next week. We're going to be doing a Women of Faith and Content Creation Roundtable. Um, this is we are absolutely excited about this. As y'all know, last year we did the we did the men's roundtable, and something that I mentioned to D earlier last week was this this date, September 21st, is 2 days after we did the men's roundtable, which we did September the 19th. So there's something about September and our podcast with Christian content creators that has sparked an interest in us.
I don't know what it is, man, but I'm rolling with it.
Yes.
I'm rolling with it.
But yes, make sure y'all tune in next Sunday, same time, 2 p.m. Central Standard, 3 p.m. Eastern, or I believe that's 12 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have Just Crafty, D Sassy Gamer, two women of faith, also content creators. Crafty, she does do content on Twitch. She does it on TikTok as well. D Sassy, she's mainly been on YouTube lately, and so we're definitely excited to have these two women on to talk about their walk with God and what it means to be a Christian content creator on these platforms.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great conversation. Because the first one we did last year was just we knocked it out of the park. It was amazing.
Yes.
And we said we wanted to do it again, but with female Christians. Yes. So I definitely look forward to that. And it's just gonna be a great time, y'all. It's just we definitely appreciate all of the support that we always get. Like I said, we said earlier in the stream, whenever you get a chance, because we're going to start, we already put it out there, but we're going to probably put it out there a number of times throughout this week, because we would love a good turnout for this, because we got special guests on there, people who are not usually on the podcast speaking. If you get an opportunity, share it on your socials. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you have, TikTok, it doesn't matter, Spotify. We want to try to get this to be a great turnout. So regardless of who's there, it's still going to be a great episodes. But again, we just try to create the type of content that can plant seeds in people and to, manifest into, just great stuff.
Yes, indeed. Well, that is the end of our episode. We definitely appreciate you guys for being here, whether you commented, whether you lurked in the background. Definitely appreciate you guys. Again, if you are on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up, share the link. We definitely appreciate that. And also, if you're on Twitch, make sure that you're following. If you're not following, no pressure at all.
Right.
But but also you can find us on Spotify as well. Just go search for Two Bitter Guys podcast, and we will pop right up. We have seasons 1, 2, and we are putting 3 on there each week as we go along. And I gotta give a big shout out. I hope this doesn't be embarrassing, but I gotta give a big shout out to Carlos, because I was looking at the analytics, and as far as like the audience, where the audience is coming from, and the DR was the number 1 spot.
I mean, hey, look, that's That says a lot. I wonder who it could be.
I wonder who it could be.
I wonder who it could be.
But no, real talk, it definitely, we definitely appreciate you guys for your support. It definitely means a lot. We're still waiting for the Facebook thing. Apparently we hadn't hit our 60 days yet. And we're still a little shy as far as followers go. So I think we're like 10 shy. I think we're like 10 to 12 people shy for the followers. But again, we definitely appreciate you guys so much for what you guys do. So
yes, thank you so much. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Remember, this week, try to practice some patience with people, practice kindness and goodness as well. You never know what that will manifest into. I never met anybody who regretted doing that, and it didn't come back on them in a good way. Because, like I said, the opposite of that really doesn't bring you much of anything, except right. you reap what you sow. I'm just gonna say that. So
yes.
But everybody have an amazing week, and we'll see y'all next week for the roundtable of Christian content creators, female edition. Hope to see you there.
Deuces.
Y'all know me, Big the Legend G, with my co-host Initial D, bringing that heat in a twist street. Grab your popcorn, kick up your feet, sit back, relax. We about to blow. Welcome to our channel. Enjoy the show. Ayy.
Hard conversation, brain stimulation, BGID, no imitation. Look, pull up on the mic. Two big guys is rocking the night. Sub on YouTube and follow on Twitch. I guarantee it's gonna be a hit. It's showtime.